So thank you for joining me today. My name is Odelia, and with me we have Dana that you will hear in the last part of this webinar. I'll try to be short and straightforward. So I'm Odelia, Head of Strategy at Argentum, and we'll talk together today about collaborative project, about consortia. And more specifically, I will share with you our approach of how, this is how I call it, we tackle the complexity of European R&D partnership and consortia establishment. In order to do so, we'll go over three different topics. The first section, I will define and explain a bit more, clarify some notions about collaborative projects in general, collaborative funding opportunities, a bit how it works and what it is. Then I'll display the step-by-step methodology of how I think should be approached. And finally, we will present you a bit who we are at Argentum, our approach, our expertise, our assets, and service proposition. So for the first section about the notions. First, we will begin with talking about the funding schemes. We are talking about non-dilutive funding, while acknowledging the fact that most of the European non-dilutive funding sources and funding opportunities will require partnership establishment. They want collaboration, and we'll explain a bit more what type of collaboration. In terms of some funding sources, as you can see here, there are tons of funding sources that we can categorize at three levels. One level will be national funding sources that most of you know. It's usually one central one for innovation funding, as well as additional ones in the field of innovation or specific thematics, specific ministries. At this level, the national funding, some of the funding tracks will be eligible for independent applicant, and some will require a collaborative setting. The second level, I call it the intergovernmental level. It's actually any type of umbrella funding program that involves two or multiple participating countries. Under these schemes, it's always required to apply with a partner, at least one. And the funding mechanism will be different for each of the partner, as each of the partner will be funded according to its own national funding rules. The third level is European funding. In this case, there are some funding tracks that can be applied independently, and most of the calls for proposal will require a consortium application. Sometimes it will be a smaller consortium or a larger, and this is exactly what we'll present here in the next slide. So when I talk about collaboration setting, we need to make the distinction about the size, because the size will also determine the type of a project that is expected. If the call for proposal require a bilateral collaboration between two partners from the same country or for different countries, in that case, the collaboration setting will require one to take the coordinator position and the second one as a partner. But actually, in terms of a project scope collaboration setting, we expect something very equilibrated, a 50-50 repartition of the activities, the budget, and everything. Then there are medium-sized consortia or larger consortia. In these cases, we will have one coordinator and several partners. The size of the consortia will usually be determined by the expectation of the calls and the budget allocated. In this case, the coordinator will take a more central position because he will be in charge of determining the position of the partners and the budget repartition, and it will require more from his side in terms of the coordination itself. Here in this slide, I will give some clarification about why are European funding sources interested in collaboration, and what would be expected in terms of the nature of these partnerships. I see in my everyday work that sometimes I talk about partnership and people don't really understand what type of partnership is it's expected. What does it mean, an R&D partnership? So here I'll give some clarification. First, what we hear a lot is one of the objective of this partnership is to bridge between research, more early stage research, and industry. So it's usually this partnership between academias and companies, and this is in order to ensure a more fluent and effective business readiness level advancement of innovative ideas. So helping research projects to advance toward product development and toward market adoption. Then it's also expected to bridge between different industrial sectors and between different academic disciplines. And this is why you will always see that they expect multidisciplinary project. At the EU level, when we're talking about Europe, it is also expected to have international collaboration between the different European nations. And this is in order to reach a stronger and more unified continent. Then, especially when it comes to larger consortia, the expectations would be that the consortium constellation represents the actual value chain. It's kind of a microcosmos of the real life implementation. The consortia would then be to improve the communication and collaboration among all stakeholders, enabling alignment and quicker resolution of issues. Finally, we definitely envision collaborative project as an opportunity to undertake a significantly larger project scope, something that you would not be able to reach independently. So this was about the clarification. Now we go to the second part of this webinar, that is about the methodology, the how-to step by step. So this is actually how we work with our clients. We are doing two mapping in parallel. So we are talking about three stages. The first two stages are performed in parallel. First, we will map you as an applicant. What is your R&D pipeline, your R&D project idea, but also your potential contributions within a collaborative project as a partner. And I'll give more examples about this in the next slide. So this is a first mapping. The second mapping, we list all relevant funding sources and relevant calls for proposals or funding programs that are relevant to your eligibility criteria and to your R&D mapping. With this to mapping, we define a strategy, and the strategy will be for each of the funding track, and here I talk mainly about collaborative funding track, is to define, would we rather apply as a coordinator or rather apply as a partner? How do we decide if to apply as a coordinator or as a partner? It is mainly if the call for proposal is exactly on a project that you're planning to do. You see yourself in a very central position. It is in your interest to coordinate. You have experience with that. You have a large network. Anything of these arguments can lead you to the decision of taking the coordinator position. And then again, we are talking sometimes about coordinating a small project of two partners or larger. And the second decision to target as a partner, it's well, for XYZ reason, I don't want to take the coordinator position. And the call for proposal requires something that I cannot address fully or centrally. I would like to be a piece of the puzzle here. It would be in my interest to contribute with something that I can provide, but without taking in charge the whole the whole collaborative project or the large-scale project. I can give an example. There was a call for proposal called the Hospital of the Future. And the Hospital of the Future was requiring very a long list of expectations of how to envision, build, and plan this Hospital of the Future. And if I'm a company that can provide a specific solution for the hospital that would this Hospital of the Future, then I would be a partner providing my solution, and the other partners and their coordinator will coordinate the whole scope. So regarding these two options, to target as a coordinator and target as a partner. If you target a call for proposal as a coordinator, then, sorry, something pop up. Okay. Then you will need to define your project idea to align it with the call's expectation. This usually means that the call for proposal falls exactly on what you're planning to do on something that you envisioned. And according to the call's requirement, you will draft a list of the missing expertise or a missing role that you would need in order to complete the consortium. And this will lead to the partner search. The partner search can be based on your own existing network or a larger network, but also on partnering platforms that are usually offered by the funding programs, or organized brokerage events in which also you can find partners. While aggregating the partners to your project, you will need to structure the collaborative project idea and position the partner according to their role in the project and their added value in the project. Let's go to the second scenario. I want to target as a partner. If you target a funding track as a partner, then you will begin with defining your added value as a partner in a collaborative project, and this is what I will explain in the next slide how to do it. You can envision or position what would be the different roles you can take in a collaborative project. Then, according to the funding tracks you have listed, you can make an alignment of the expectation. In this call, I can take this role. In this call, I can take this position, this contribution. So it depends on the funding program scope, and you can position yourself differently. And then the next step will be to go for a coordinator search and not a partner search, because you're looking for a coordinator that is currently establishing a consortium and you would like to suggest your contribution. And then, similarly as for the first scenario, this can be performed within your network, within a larger network, brokerage event, or partnering platforms. Here is an example. I invented a company that I called Meditech. This Meditech company has invented or has developed an imaging device as well as an AI-based platform to enhance early-stage diagnostic for specific rare diseases. According to their R&D mapping and to the funding opportunity mapping that don't appear here on this slide, we were able to extract 5 different profiles for this company. We call it the partner profile. 5 different roles that the company could take within a consortia. The first role would be the natural technology provider, because in a research project focusing on early stage diagnostic or rare disease, they can provide their solution or develop within the project their solution. Then another perspective would be to act as a service provider and not a technology provider. In that case, it would mean that within a project in their field of activity, Meditech would provide their ready-made solution, give licensing or training, providing their solution. So a bit like a subcontractor or a service provider. The third option is because the company counts in his activity also some assets that can be categorized as infrastructure. It might be that they have lab or manufacturing facility, or even the imaging devices themselves can be categorized as infrastructure. And in that case, we can imagine a project focusing on advanced robotic solution, and they would be using their devices for their project. Why would it be interesting for Meditech? It would be because it would enable Meditech to explore or exploit their solution in additional environments. In the opposite scenario, Meditech could also act as an end user by himself, because depending on how the value chain is positioned, sometimes you can be the end user and sometimes you're the technology provider, the solution provider. So Meditech can also act as a use case position or end user. For example, if we imagine a project focusing on cybersecurity, the cybersecurity solution would be interested to validate their solution in various environments. And in that case, Meditech could test and beneficiate from a pilot project using the cybersecurity solution in their platform. Lastly, as Meditech counts in its team, leading experts in medical field or data scientists, they can provide also scientific expertise, advice, or contribution to a project. So as we can see, this is a typical startup company in the digital health field that can take 5 different roles in a collaborative project. We are reaching the third part of our webinar. Here, I will present a bit. I will present, and then Dana will present a bit more about how we work, what we do, how we provide. So first, I will tell a few words about Argentum Consortia ecosystem. This is a platform that we have established in order to leverage our capabilities both for partner and coordinator search. ACE includes hundreds of technology providers, scientific experts, pilot site, public-private entity, regulatory, well, a lot of type of entities from a lot of countries. And these partners are registered in ACE according to specific parameters that are useful for partner or coordinator search or for building up collaborative project. The number of registered partners is constantly growing. And we can mention some numbers that during 23 and 24 we supported 107 collaborative project, and within these 107 projects, 53 have been coordinated directly by our clients, so with our full support. And the resting are projects that our client joined as a partner. So now it's I finish here, and I will present you Dana, that is in business development manager at Argentum, and she will present you a bit our approach, our service proposition.
Thanks, Odelia. So a little bit about Argentum Consultants. We are a firm that specializes in non-dilutive EU funding, and what we do is we build a grant strategy for R&D performing companies. And our approach is unique. We have what's called a multi-submission strategy. So this means that when we work with a company on grants, we will usually work with you for a period of 12 months. And then during these 12 months, we submit multiple funding opportunities. And the grant submission strategy is based on ongoing analysis and identification of the funding opportunities that fit your company's needs, strategies, and R&D plan, along, of course, with full proposal preparation support for all the relevant submissions. And then within this accompaniment of the multi-submission strategy, we also have what Odelia has been talking about today is Argentum's consortia link, which provides the methodology of the support for partnership establishment. Now, if we move on to the next slide, as what you can see in Argentum's consortia link. So here there are kind of I guess you want to call it three options for Argentum's consortia link. As Odelia shared, we've got the consolidation of a consortium as a coordinator, where Argentum will support you in identifying partners that you may need for your project applications, or you can join a consortium as a partner and you provide your specific expertise and your contribution according to the different profiles that Odelia talked about as well, and you are part of a collaborative project. And then, of course, we have ACE, Argentum's consortia ecosystem, where we can take advantage of all of the companies and entities in that network. And these come as part of the partnering support that we provide. Now, some of the values added values of the Argentum's consortia link are that it enables collaboration with industry and academia leaders as partners in your project. Another thing that it does is that it actually improves your company's positioning in the European research and innovation ecosystem. And also, as importantly, is that it really allows you to gain access to resources, data, infrastructures, and clients. Now, if we look at who you are in this next slide, so whether you're looking to enhance an existing project with the right strategic partners, gain visibility in new ecosystems, or leverage cutting edge research and resources, we can help position you in consortia that align with your company's vision and technological strengths. We specialize in bridging the gap between industry and academia, helping you form partnerships that turn innovation into real-world solutions. And if you're open to joining projects led by top industrial and research leaders, then we can ensure that your company is well placed to maximize also funding and strategic opportunities. So I really want to discuss with you how we can align our R&D ambitions with the right EU funding and partnerships. And this is really in order to drive your next breakthrough innovation. So I would really love to sit down, have a meeting with you, discuss this. So if you can email me, reach out, use the link that was shared below. Odelia, if you wanted to add any last thoughts of wisdom here. You had a lot of really interesting information that you shared. And I think that probably our lovely marketing team who is behind the scenes in all of these webinars will share the information in an email afterwards. Odelia, what else did you want to add today?
Well, I will just say that we are working on that every day, and it became a passion. Actually, we are really very interested and very moved by this partnership establishment every week. We like to do it, so we invite you to be part of the ecosystem and to take part in this journey.
Okay, great. So thank you all very much for joining today, for taking the time. Thank you, Adelia, as well. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you.
We'll see you then.